Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited because I have another tag video, and I actually was super inspired to do this because while I was eating my apples and peanut butter and eggs for breakfast, I was watching Little Bookables video and she was doing I'm a Guilty Reader tag, and it looks so much fun. So I decided, why not? Plus I love tags. And it actually was created by a Cami from Read Like Wildfire, and it looks so much fun. So I will be leaving the link below in case you decide to do it, because I totally tag all you guys because it's fun. So getting started with the first question is, have you ever regifted a book that you've been given? And not really to anybody else, but I have regifted a gift that I bought myself. So, like I will buy a book during Christmas time and I will gift myself a book, and then I'll gift it, wrap it with some training paper, put it under the tree, and then unwrap it on Christmas Day. It's just fun because, one, you got a new book, but you also get to experience the Christmas part of it. And if you leave it, you buy it ahead of time, like months ago, and then leave it in your big, huge TBR pile, and then wrap it at that time, put it in a tree, you actually will forget what you got. So it's kind of like a surprise. So it's kind of like interesting. So the next question is, have you ever said you've read a book when you haven't? Yes. I mean, who hasn't? I'm sure some of us have done that. I pretty much was have a good reason, I guess, or maybe it's not. So it's like during middle school and during my reading classes, they'll have like this assignment where you have to read a book and then write a summary about it on a piece of paper. And sometimes there will be times where I forgot to read that day, so I'll be like, God, I forgot to do my homework, and so I have a few more minutes. So in order to do that, I pretty much have to make something up on the spot. So I'll create my own summary, the name of the book. I'll be like, Joel, the Lord of Stones. And so by Joan C. Joan. And it's about a boy who loves stones and he uses it to save a princess. Yeah, whatever. And that's pretty much as I will make up. But on a normal day basis, I wouldn't do that. So, because I prefer to talk about books that I have read. So, So the next question is, have you ever borrowed a book and not returned it? Well, the first book that I have not returned, I have a good reason. Honestly, it's a good reason. Because one day I was in kindergarten, so I borrowed a book, and I was living in Vienna, Austria at the time. And so when I was in kindergarten, I borrowed a book, Princess and the Pea, and well, I never got a chance to return it because I was moving during that time. So I moved to Africa, and I don't think my mom would have let me to return the book by mail. So now it's mine, and I have no intention of returning it. So plus I donated it. So maybe that person that bought it at Goodwill will return it for me. I mean, it's called Goodwill, so maybe I don't have goodwill to do it. So I don't know. And then for the second book, I don't have a good reason for, and I don't feel bad about it, so I'm not sure what's guilty tag thing. But I borrowed a book for a reading class because my teacher was offering books to read, like on a bookshelf for everybody to do a book report on. And it was in middle school, and I forgot her name. I think it was Mrs. Lori or Everly or something. But either way, I borrowed a book called Numbered Stars, and it's one of my favorite books of all time. It's a really good book. So I borrowed it, and I never returned it. And I don't feel bad about it because it was a good book. So I won. It was free. So, and a lot of the books on the shelf were kind of crappy looking anyway. So I made more room on our shelf. So, but other than that, I don't really borrow books from anybody else. So I borrow my own books, and anyway, the next question is, Have you ever read a series out of order? Yes. I actually read, when I discovered the Sweep series back in high school, I actually started from the last book, which was kind of like a spin off called Ninth Child, and it was based on one of the characters' child. So it was like in the future, and it did give away some things from the actual series, but not a whole lot. Just mostly like backstory references. And so I pretty much was missing on that, but it didn't really spoil the whole entire series for me, so except a few things. And so I guess that was one of the occasions that I read out of order. So, and I didn't even know that was the last book in the series because it didn't have a number on it. So, yeah. So the next question is, have you ever spoiled a book for someone? Guilty as charged. I have done it. I mean, I'm not the only person that hasn't done it. I'm sure you guys have spoiled a book accidentally out of overexcitement. So, when you read a book and you know something, and even if you don't mean to spoil it and you don't even say anything key incidents, but you give clues away. Like the book Hunger Games series. I gave away one of the endings of what happened to the hairdresser guy. I kind of like revealed a hint of what's going to happen to him to my sister, and so that kind of gave that away. Uh, but don't tell her what happens at Mockingjay, so don't tell her. But anyway, let's see. I also gave away. Well, I kind of spoiled the book 50 Shades of Grey for my mom, so I don't think she's gonna read it. And I mean, she was thinking about reading it, but because of my rants about it, it kind of spoiled it for her. So now I don't see her reading it. Plus, she doesn't even read, so it's not much of a big, huge deal. And I saved her a lot of time reading a book. So, how can I be a good book reviewer if I don't recommend good books and not save people from bad books? hmm So, the next question is, have you ever doggy-eared a book? Not really. Unless if let's say I was reading a book, right? And I accidentally moved or was getting up or something, and then I accidentally bent the page. That pretty much would be the only incident I would dog-eared book. Other than that, I don't use that as a way to bookmark my pages. Plus, I don't need to. I usually use a bookmarks that I actually make myself. I mean, I do have bookmarks that I bought, but I like to use them as decoration or just part of my collection because I lose things. Or sometimes, like for this one, see, it's kind of like thick, and it actually leaves a dent in the pages, and I hate that. So they're kind of like just meant for like inspiration or something just to look at. Instead, what I use is actually these. And I have a ton, actually. I have a ton of these. And what you do, I go to Home Depot, and those paint samples, and sometimes you'll have strips or something of different colors. And so I'll get some of them, and then I actually will cut them into different strips like these. Or you get these kinds, and they have so many colors, and they're free. You can get as much. Just don't get so much at the same time because it just seems weird. So, because people just look at you weird, and, you know. But anyway, you can get as much, and if you lose one, you have plenty, and they're free. So it's like kind of a risk, and I can leave them all over the place. I can put them in many places where I would read, in my car, and I'll always have a bookmark. And I don't even need to rip a page out or bend the pages. I use these. And if you want, I can do like a tutorial on how to make these if you really want to show you how I do that. And see, I got some green ones, and you can even use it for art projects. So it's also really good. So that's what I use for bookmarks. So next question is, let's see, have you ever told someone you don't own a book when you do? Well, I never really done that because there was never like an opportunity to do that, and yeah, I just never told anybody that I didn't own a book until what I did. So I talked bad about a book that I actually have that I bought, even if I knew that I was never going to read it. But no. So the next question is, have you ever told someone you haven't read a book when you have? No, not really. I mean, I'm pretty much honest when it comes to when I read a book and when I didn't read a book. I mean, from an exception of that, those book review assignments that I mentioned earlier, where I made up a book that I haven't read that doesn't even exist. Let's see. Have you ever skipped a chapter or a section of a book? Yes, so many times. I mean, if a book was really boring and I just want to get to the good parts of the book, and if it was like one of those kind of books where it was like a lot of imaginary, very descriptive, like it takes like 2 pages or 10 pages to describe the whole world, and the author was trying to cover up the whole history of the world. Yes, The Hobbit. I'll skip the intro or the Lord of the Rings. I skip the intros. I want to get to the story because I don't need the whole history. That's what the history books of Middle Earth is for. So, yeah, sometimes it will get so boring. Or when I was younger, I will skip a book because, when I was younger, I didn't really appreciate everything of a book and just wanted the action parts. So, and which was not really good because when I read it the second time, it was like reading the book for the first time because for the parts that I missed. And oh yeah, recently, We Are Okay book. It was so bad, and I didn't even want to read the second book. I didn't want to read the last few chapters of the book because I got my answers for the book. I already knew why the girl is crazy, so I knew why of everything. So there was no point. Okay, let's see. Have you ever told someone you haven't? Oh wait, I already said that. Have you ever badmouthed a book you actually liked? Not really. It was more like in reversed. I'll good mouth a book that I actually hated, and that was 50 Shades of Grey. Because I had this one friend a long time ago who I'm not talking to as much anymore because for some reason, um, who pretty much thinks he really relates to Christian Grey in some way. So I guess he was pretty much very relatable. He's like, yeah, we have a lot in common. Yeah, from the exception of me being poor and stuff, but I have a lot in common. And I was like, okay, yeah, it's a good book. Yeah, it's a good book. Yeah. Yeah, and he's like, yeah, it's an amazing piece of literature. I was like, but in reality, I hate the book, so yeah, interesting times. But anyway, those are the questions that I have for today. If you have more questions you want to add to the TBR, to the actual thing, why not? Because, tags could always be updated because since it's like 2017 right now, maybe next year re-update it with some new questions because that way you keep it going strong. And so, before I close this video, I would like to tag some people. This time I actually have some names. First of all, I would like to tag LilyCReads channel because I want to. I also want to tag Mackenzie Lane, Van Sander, Midnight Reads, DarcyReads, Bookables, Beauty in the Book, and Brittany Reads. That's a star, I guess. And if you want to tag anybody else, why not do so? And that's pretty much all I have for today. And if you like this video, click on the thumbs up. And if there's another tag that you want me to do also, I'll be happy to do that one too. And if you want to see more of this channel and be part of this whole journey of discovering new books and rediscovering old ones also, because there are also some underhyped books that we probably missed out on last year or the year before, even last year. And I'm also going to be doing a review on Crooked Kingdom and perhaps Six of Crows also. So, until next time, keep on reading.